Guys, hope you all are doing great today. So today we are going to learn a new topic, that is ACL. So before that we have created a table. So I will be telling a brief of ACL, and we will do some exercise on the existing table which we made in the last session. So we made this table, business customer. Made this table in the last session. Let me open this. Yeah, we have two records here. So yeah, we are going to do some exercise for the ACL on this table. Yeah, so we will be checking that how we can implement ACLs over it. So before we proceed with the implementation, let me give you a brief introduction of ACLs so you can see the ServiceNow docs. You can go through, this is the latest release Sendigo. You can go through the entire content for more details. So what basically ACL is? ACL stands for Access Control List Rules. So basically, if we want to restrict a user to see few records on the table on the basis of particular rules or permissions, so we can do it by ACL in ServiceNow. So ACL is one of the option, although there are multiple ways to achieve one scenario in ServiceNow. So but yeah, we first think about restricting some access for a user, um, particular a group of users, so we basically choose the ACL for that. So the rules for access control list restrict access to data by requiring user to pass a set of requirements before they interact with it, right? So by this, data restriction can be done. So all access control list rules specify the object and operation being secure. So basically why ACL is required, because we don't want to leave our table data or our ServiceNow data open for everyone, right? So for security, it is very important to configure ACLs in the instance properly so that our instance safe, secure, and the permission required to access. So by ACL, we grant permission to access a particular record, table, etc. So, so what is main important? So the rules is main important. So for to create ACLs, modify ACLs, we require security admin rule. So for security admin rule, how you are going to access it? So you, as an admin also, I need to elevate it security admin from here before I you can see grant modification action to high security settings allow user to modify the access control list, right? So that's how we access the ACLs. Wait, that's how it is done. So, and what are the types of ACLs? So we have it ACL of two types, basically operation based and type. So operation based, when I say operation, it is database operations. So when we say database operations, so quickly come to our mind is CRUD. So if you are from IT backgrounds, you have very much familiar about this term. It is basically create, read, write, and delete operations. So which users we want to allow to create a record, write a record or a field, read a record or field, delete a record or field, right? And furtherly, we have multiple other operations that report on we want, um, which users we want to report on particular table, report view, list view, allow task table. In the same way, if I go to the documentation, we we have these operations. Execute is like who can user cannot execute script or record or UI page. Like so, if I allow user uh, with the roles and with the other scenarios, if I allow a user to execute the script, then it will be applicable. Creation is very normal one. Like if I want to create a new record, if if the system can allow me to read the records, write is referring to the update. If I can update the existing record or not. Delete is for deleting the record. Edit task relation. The edit task relation refer to use cannot define relationship between task table. So those particular which are not satisfying the criteria cannot define relationship between task tables. So CI relationship like who cannot define relationship between configuration item table. Save as template is used to control the fields that should be saved with when a template is created, and so on. So you can read those details and you can see where it can be used. But we majorly require this create, read, update, delete for the table view. But you should be aware of like what all options are provided by the tool so that when it requires you can check. For the object type, we have UI pages, record, and client callable script includes processors. So we can define particular ACL to restrict these object types. So majorly I have worked on record type. So we will see how we create the record type ACLs. Right. So let's begin. Okay, so I told you that we have created this one table earlier sessions. So when we create a table, so you can see the name is mm, we have a U sign at the first of the table name. That is U underscore business customer. So whenever we create a custom table, it is the prefix for that table is U, and it is auto populated in the system. So you see by default, when you scroll down, there are 4 ACLs. So we have write ACL, create ACL, delete ACL, and read ACLs. So these are created out of the box when we create a new table. So what it says, let me open one for you, that is read one. Basically what it says, wait and see, it's false. Let me make it true. So out of the box, when we create a new table, it is automatically marked as true. Maybe I have done some modification. Great. So you can see we have type over here. Type says record. So it will be processed for each record in the table. Suppose we have 100 entries in the table. So it will process each record one by one and see if ACL is evaluated as true or false, right? And the operation is whenever read operation is being performed, then it will be executed. Read is that if I can see the record or not. Admin overrides is like as an admin is a person who manages this entire configurations, modifies, creates the entire configuration um in this ServiceNow tool. So that is done by a person who has admin role. So admin override means if we don't have even admin role in the script, even if it is false for admin, it won't impact it. Admin can always perform read, write, execute, that it says. Okay, so then we have selecting here the name of the table, and here we have all the columns of the table. Description, if you want to elaborate a bit about this ACL. So what it says, you can see in the blue highlighted box, you can see access control will allow access to specified resource if all three checks evaluated as true. All three what? All three checks. That rule we are seeing, and condition we provide here, and script. So script is visible when we click on the advanced option. The script is visible now. Okay, so you might be having confusions now. Let me clear your doubts. So here if we have one role specified out of the box. Let's see one user. Let's see one user who does not have any role and see how they are going to um, find that record, how the record will look like. So as an admin, I can see it, I can edit it. You can see it's not grayed out. So let's impersonate the able tutor first. Able tutor, you can see when I scroll down, there is no role, there is no groups, right? So we have one record open, and like if we want to see how other user is seeing the record, we impersonate, we have impersonate option, we write the user's name and we refresh the record, right? So if I refresh this record, you can see there is nothing for the user because user does not have the role. So if I want him to see, I need to create a new ACL. Either I can provide him a role, right? So ACL will allow him to check it. Or what I can do, I can simply create a new ACL where there is no rule. So how ACL works? So if I have to read ACL, one has a role of one has role that is you business customer user, right? And another is does not have a role. So able tutor does not have a role, so that the second one where we don't have any role will allow able tutor to see the record. So basically if we have two ACLs, one is allowing user to see a record and another one is not allowing user to see a record. So any of the ACL should allow user. So first one allowed, it means user can see. So let me create a record here without a row. We'll simply go and insert and stay. Okay, I need to end impersonate the user first. If you are not able to perform any ACL operation, just check if you are logged in with the admin user and you have elevated the role security admin, right? So let's again insert and stay. Yeah, continue. It will create a duplicate record with no rules, right? Great. There is no rule, you can see. So now again, I'm going to impersonate the able tutor. And let's refresh the record. You can see the you now able tutor can see the record, but it's grayed out. He cannot edit it because we have only created a ACL with the read and by which the able tutor can read it out. Okay, great. Okay, quickly we can see if we want to create a field level ACL. Suppose able tutor is ready to, we can see all the fields, right? So let's check if we can restrict the location field for particular user. I don't want to see location. Basically, I don't want to see the location one. Fine. So what I was saying, we don't want to see location field for the people who does not have any role. So we just created an ACL. Let me create the new ACL. I can click on insert and stay, and I can say okay, continue. Authorize again. I need to elevate the rule. Go here. Go here. I want to create for location, right? We have stay, and we will click insert and stay. We will continue. So it has created us a duplicate copy of that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a value here as location, and that's how it is created for location. And here we can add a rule, u underscore business customer user, right? So this way we have restricted location. This way we have restricted location for the people who has only business u underscore business customer user rule. Okay, so it is field based ACL. So let's check for the able tutor impersonate user able tutor, and let's refresh the record and see. You can see earlier they were able to see the location. Now location has disappeared after refreshing the record. So that's how we can create a field level ACL. Okay, so now quickly create a scenario. Now we are going to create a ACL where all the three scenarios will work. Because for ACL, all the three condition needs to be true. When we don't have condition over here, obviously this only single needs to be true. So as a combined, we had all the, as a result we should have a true as when we combine three of these conditions. Okay, let's take a scenario. Mm, Take a scenario. We have one role, this is customer and department is audit. We will add this condition, and in script we will add if a user is a member of particular group. Okay, let's see how many ACLs we have overall now. Great. So we have now 6 ACL, 4 was out of box, and 2 red we created for location, and we created on this one where we don't have any role for able tutor, right? And let's create new ACL. Let's copy this one. I need to elevate the role. Then I can create a copy of the same. Continue. And what we want, we want to check a case where we are going to add a role. So customer ID. We already have, like, to satisfy this, we already have a read ACL. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a condition where department is audit. Okay. Now I want to add, okay, let's see only this one first. This is a table level ACL as we have not selected any column, right? So let's check. Let's check a user who has this role, not admin one. So I have one user, that is Ibrahim. with this role. So earlier I provided Ibrahim the role. So ideally we should provide with the group, but I have provided that directly to this user. So let's check impersonate user Ibrahim link. When I impersonated this user, let's see, we had two records, right? One record, one we have operations, and the second record, the department is audit. When I refresh it for this user, you can see both the records. You must be thinking why this is being done. Let's check which ACLs we have just created, right? One record is matching here, but at the same time we have other ACL. We have sure we have this other ACL, which was out of the box, the first one. Yeah, I need to end impersonate Ibrahim. Why Ibrahim is able to see both the records, because this ACL is providing him access to match record. You can see here as well. Other one is restricting, but this one is allowing. So let's make it inactive for the time being. Not authorized. Whenever I impersonate, you have to again elevate the security admin rule. Wanted to make it inactive, this one, so that we can see the difference. Okay, now let's impersonate the Ibrahim. Refresh your table. Okay, again, Ibrahim is not seeing, Ibrahim is seeing both the records because we have multiple ACLs, right? We have one more ACL, which is still active, I guess. Let's see. You can see one read ACL is active, and this is related to location, and this one, I guess. This one is allowing when user does not have any role, still it is allowing user to see the record, right? So what I will do, I will go in person, elevate role. Will go here and directly disable it. Great. If you now impersonate the Ibrahim, definitely he is not going to see both the records, because now there is only one ACL which is allowing to see the audit records. You can see the operation has disappeared. So that's how it works. So if you want to add the script one also, let me show you the script one as well, right? We have a groups. I'm going to add a condition, and in person I'm going to add a condition where a user should be member of particular group in the ACL. So that kind of scenario comes many times. Suppose a member should be group of app development. This is ID. So I have a pretty cute script for this. So I'm going to add this line of code, as in this is current user is member of particular group. Get user, all this is server side code. So ACL use server side scripting. So let me just add this line of code. the ACL which I created. This one. This one is the only active now. Add this piece of code here. I save it. Again, it's not allowing me. I forget to elevate all the time. Takes a lot of time, you know. Let me check if this is the ACL we were working upon. Yes, this is the one. Great. Just select it, quickly add your script and save it. Let's check if Ibrahim can still see the any record. It's saved. Yes, it's saved. Let's see, impersonate Ibrahim quickly. Let's see if Ibrahim can see any of the records. No, because he's not a member of that particular group. So it executed in the AND way. There is no other ACL which is allowing Ibrahim, and only this ACL we have, right, for the read. So what it says, Ibrahim has this role. Yeah, at least one record we have with the audit, but this script has written false. So when it goes in and true, for one record true, but again it fails as false. So when we do and of all this, we have false. All has to be true. If any of this is false, and there will be nothing for user, nothing can see, right? So let me add user to this particular group. We have just, this one is the group. App development, right? Check. Yeah, app development is the group. Application development. So let's go in the Ibrahim's profile and impersonate Ibrahim profile. We go and disable it of Ibrahim profile, edit it. Sorry, this app development. So just save it. And again, impersonate Ibrahim. Now again, Ibrahim will able to see at least one record which is satisfying. So how it works, how ACL works, basically it processes each and every record. Suppose if we are checking for the read, so first record was related to operation, which is not here. So where operation is, we have department as operation. So it is not satisfied by condition. You see, of department should be audit. So we have false from here. So user is not able to see it. So for second one, yeah, user has role, the department is audit, and user is member of that particular group. So user is able to read it, right? That's how it's working. That's how ACL works, and it has parent to child hierarchy. So basically, firstly, and the parent ACLs works, then it is followed by the child ACLs. And when we talk about field, this is table level ACL. When we have none or when we have star. So firstly, none ACL get executed on that particular table. Then we have star one executed. Then we have particular field, if we have defined, that one is executed. So if the table level is allowing and field level is not allowing, so that field will not be visible, but that record will be available. Like we have done an exercise for the location one. There are multiple scenarios for ACL, so I would recommend to think about the scenarios and practice as much as possible, then only you will have clarity about this topic. And this topic is really a vast topic. As much as you can cover yourself, that will help you out. Thank you so much for listening and have a great learning ahead. Keep watching.